Hi there, this is Andrea with my Week 6 Interactive Advanced Concept. What I'm going to be doing is making a rocket noodle out of this ZD, and I'm going to use a little bit of hydrogen peroxide and some active yeast, and we're going to show what happens with that reaction. So, first, get it into here. Okay. So I'm just going to fill up the mason jar. Well, not fill it up, but I'm going to pour some peroxide in here, which is H2O2, 2 hydrogens to 2 oxygens. Okay, and since peroxide is very unstable, it will eventually decompose on its own, because it will just do that naturally, and it will decompose into water and oxygen. So here I have a teaspoon of yeast, and I'm going to mix that up. I'm going to cover it with the top of the mason jar, but not screw it in. I'm going to mix it up a little bit so it reacts. And what's actually happening is that the yeast is a catalyst, so it's not actually becoming part of the products. It's just assisting with the reaction. So then I'm just putting these scissors here so that the noodle, this little ZD that I'm going to use, will stay in place, just so it doesn't fall over when I light it. Okay. And then I'm going to light it on fire. There we go. Okay. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh no. Okay. So that really smells. That was a lot, and it's still rising. Okay, so I didn't exactly get a good seal on the noodle. That was probably way more than I should have used. I think that when I lit the, let me see if I can, hold on, let me see if I can calm that down a little bit and try it again and see if it'll continue to light. Oh my gosh, nope, 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 way too much peroxide, I think. It's not gonna stop. Probably maybe should have made the hole a little bit bigger on the top so the oxygen could escape. So it is catching fire, but the noodle is also starting to close. It's on fire a little bit. It's not really working out too well. I think that it's getting suffocated a little bit. But what basically is kind of happening, it really only lasted a very short amount of time, was that you can see that there's decomposition happening because the oxygen is, or I'm sorry, the peroxide is turning into oxygen and water. That would happen very slowly if it wasn't for the yeast, but the yeast is a catalyst, so it makes that reaction happen quicker. So it's sped up by the yeast, and by lighting the ZD, we're actually kind of adding fuel to the fire. So we have a small combustion reaction, and that's because of the oxygen that's produced. So when that hydrogen peroxide becomes hydrogen and water, then we have oxygen gas. the oxygen gas is then able to fuel the fire a little bit more. But the pasta is also part of that fuel because the pasta is made up of it's a complex carb, so it's carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, and that gives the energy for the fuel of the reaction. So the oxygen is the oxidizer of the pasta. So then since we created and generated heat, that means that we have an exothermic reaction occurring. So in this rocket, it's a hybrid rocket because it uses a solid fuel source, which is the pasta, and a liquid or gas oxidizer, which is the oxygen and water from the peroxide. So with this, you see that this pasta or the ziti rocket is you can shut it off because the fuel is a solid state. So there's no explosive hazard or anything like that. And I'm pretty sure what happened is that you can see a lot of the bubbles on the top. So I think that the reaction was occurring, but it kind of got stopped because there was just too much product kind of in the way. So the stoichiometry of it was a little bit off. I probably should have put less hydrogen peroxide because there was too much of a reaction going on at the top of it. But the yeast is not part of the products. It was just a catalyst to make the reaction happen faster between just the hydrogen peroxide and for the gas to occur, and then for the gas to rise up and use the extra fuel from the pasta. Okay, thanks.